Today I'd like to show you this GTMedia V7S free satellite receiver. This is actually the first receiver I bought myself when I started with the hobby of free satellite TV. And these are still reasonably priced. You can find them for probably around 50 bucks online. And it's a good starter receiver if you're looking to just start out in the hobby and not spend too much money. It comes with the power adapter, the receiver, a remote that works pretty well, and also a Wi-Fi antenna. If you want to set this up as a streaming device, you can do that as well. Now, looking at the back of this receiver, you can see you've got a spot to plug in your LNB there. It does have an HDMI out. It also has a USB, which you can use for either Wi-Fi or for PVR recording. And the little green plug you see there that says AV out, that would be like your composite RCA outs. But instead of using typical RCA plugs, you're going to have to get an adapter like this that Ys out to two RCAs. And these are pretty readily available online. So let's take this over to the TV and hook it up and try a few things out. All right, so I have it connected over here at the TV. We've got the adapter plugged in. Our LNB is connected to the coax jack at the back, and it's connected by an HDMI cable. So let's go to the menu now. All right, so here we are at the main menu. Now, if you are interested in connecting this receiver to your Wi-Fi internet network, then what you want to do is plug in the Wi-Fi antenna into the USB port on the back of the receiver and go to network and then network config, and you can click Wi-Fi and then there's a connect button in there. You can enter your password and set this receiver up to be used as a streaming device. Now for me, that's not something I do. Having free satellite TV for me means not having to worry about connecting to the internet, which is something that I like. So if we go back to the install menu up here to satellite list, this is where you can set the receiver up for a blind scan. So I'll show you how to do that quickly. So right now I have my dish aimed at satellite 99 west on the KU band, and I'm using a Shaw satellite dish, an old Shaw dish. Those are usable for free satellite TV because they have the right kind of linear KU band LNB built in, and I've used those in lots of my videos. And you can check out my channel if you want to see how to use one of those dishes for free satellite television, and I'll leave a few links in the description for you for that. Now, here at the main menu, what you want to do is always make sure your LNB frequency is set correctly. And this is not the right setting. We're using a universal KU band LNB that should be set like this. This is the correct frequency setting for a Shaw satellite dish. Now, if you're using a standard KU band LNB, you're going to set your LNB to 10750. If you're using a universal KU band LNB, normally it's this, 9750 to 10600, but for the Shaw LNB, it's this one. And the signal comes back there nicely, as you can see. Now to set up for a blind scan, we'll just push exit, and that brings us back to the main installation menu here. Now you can see we've got some colored buttons on the bottom of the screen. Those correspond to the colored buttons on your remote. So if we press the blue button for a scan, what we'll do now is go to scan mode and change this to a blind scan. And there's a couple of other settings you can set here. Free to air only, that would mean that we're only going to be scanning for free to air channels if we pressed yes. If you press no, then it'll scan for everything, and you'll get free channels as well as channels that are encrypted pay channels, but they won't be watchable. I usually like to scan for everything and then see what's out there. And then you can scan for either TV and radio, or just TV channels, or just radio channels. I usually leave this on TV and radio. and then back down to blind scan and hit search, and we'll see what channels we pull in. Now we're actually getting channels from two satellites here. These channels come from satellite 95 West. And the reason is because the Shaw satellite dish actually has two LNBs built in that are 4 degrees apart. So we're getting channels from 95 West and 99 West here. And that's not normally what you'd see with a typical KU band satellite dish. But with the Shaw dish, you can do that. And our blind scan is all finished up. All right, so back in the main menu here, if you go to System, this is where you can find all of your language and AV settings. You can set the video resolution to match the TV that you're using, as well as some other audio settings here. There is a time setting as well, although I don't usually pay attention to this. Interestingly enough, there does not seem to be a way to get the time to display on the front of the receiver though either. And then there's some other parental lock settings. This on-screen display setting here, you can actually set the transparency of the display. Right now I have it set to 0, which means it'll be dark. But as you add, you can see the logo in the background appearing. The more transparent you make the screen. I just usually leave it there though. Now here's an interesting feature. If we go to other, there's a beeper and I have it set to on. Watch what happens with this beeper feature. We'll go back to the menu here and go to install, satellite list. So you can hear that beeping. I'll just mute that for a minute. Now that beeping can be used in lieu of a portable satellite meter to set up your satellite dish. What you can do is you can take a TV and receiver outside, or you can turn the TV volume up all the way and maybe open a window or something. And that beeping can help you to set your dish up. Let's turn the beep back on here. Just turn it down a bit though. So you can hear the beeping is fairly steady. Now watch what happens if we go to a satellite. If we go to a satellite that we're not receiving, say this one. Just takes a second. Notice how the beeps are further apart now. So the idea is that the stronger the signal, the more frequent the beeps. So that might be a handy option for some people. If you don't have a portable satellite meter to set up your dish, you could use that to indicate how close you're getting to a strong signal on that satellite. And here's a quick overview of PVR recording. First, insert a USB drive into the USB slot on the back of the receiver, and this message will appear on screen. And then select the channel you want to record. Press the record button on the remote, and a message on screen will indicate that recording has started. And when you wish to stop recording, just press stop on the remote control and then select yes to confirm, and recording will stop. And to retrieve your recording, the fastest way is to press the yellow PVR button on the remote, and that takes you directly to a list of all the recordings you have on your USB drive, and then you can select the one you wish to watch. GTMedia makes a V7, V8, and V9 line of receivers, and there are some varying models in between each of those lines. And if you're looking for more information on this GTMedia V7S receiver, check the description of this video. I have a few other video tutorials I've made on this receiver, including the important steps of adding a satellite and transponder when you're setting up for a blind scan, as well as a few other helpful hints and tips to get you on your way to finding those free satellite TV channels.